running for Congress, for Senate, for, local dog catcher, what he's going to do, how he's going to do it, why he's going to do it, why he wants to do it, and so on and so forth. If there's an agenda behind there, if he's for America, not the Republican Party, not the Democrat Party, because that's gotten us a lot of trouble. Republican Party, please don't give any more money to them. Give it directly to the candidates from now on until you die. The Republican Party is just a machine, as is the Democrat Party. They're a machine as well. You got to give to the candidates. They pull too much muscle, too much strength. They throw it around. I've known people they've actually pushed out of races, and that's not the people's will. That's the party's will. We got to get out of the way of that. We got to go back to what's best for America, not for the parties. You guys are actually exercising your civic duty right now, and for that I appreciate it. You're exercising your American rights and your American responsibility. Unfortunately, our politicians in Washington, and actually a lot of our sports heroes anymore, don't know what responsibility is, individual responsibility. They're always talking about how it's not my fault. I didn't do it. I thought she was 19 years old. I mean, they're always giving excuses. And they're always teaching our children the same excuses, passing the buck, passing the buck. We got to stop that. Be held accountable. Accountability is huge. We have to be willing to be held accountable for our actions, and that's another thing we don't teach our young. And unfortunately, my generation, the generations below me, no one's held accountable anymore. It's not their fault. Their mommy and daddy beat them. They were for whatever reason, they're misunderstood individuals. No, they broke the law. They did what's wrong. Throw them to jail. Charlie Rangel got a slap on the wrist for violating the law, and we allowed that to happen as the American people. It's our fault ultimately why we're here. I mean, you can't hold a politician accountable. Politicians are like foxes in a chicken coop. They're going to eat that chicken when they get there. Politicians aren't going to screw you when they get there. That's why you have to vote Americans in. No more politicians, just Americans. So we got individual responsibility, accountability. Education is key. And I'm not talking about what Washington mouse. I'm talking true education. The teachers teach, and teachers have a hard enough job. I mean, they've taken any kind of recourse the teachers have away from them. They can't discipline the children anymore. They can't make them listen. They just got to beg and plead and hope they listen. Well, teachers have a hard job. It's the parents' job to make them learn. Teachers teach, parents make them learn. And unfortunately anymore, we got to get books about 40 years old to actually learn the truth anymore, because the way they're being rewritten these days is absolutely asinine. We got kids out there that don't even know why you celebrate the July 4th. I saw a poll out there, 60% of Americans thought we were fighting France during the Revolutionary War. I mean, that's how pitiful it is. I mean, we never talk about American pride. We got to talk about American history, because that is what we are. And unfortunately, they're sitting there saying, well, no, we're African Americans, we're German Americans, we're Irish Americans, we got to respect everyone's culture. You know what? I'm for that. But ultimately, I'm telling you, you can't be an Irish American, an African American, a German American. You got to be American first. You cannot have two loyalties. Even Theodore Roosevelt, who started the Bull Moose Party years ago, which would be a progressive party, knew you can't have two loyalties. So you got to be an American or not. And that's, we got to talk about that American pride and American spirit, be very proud of being Americans. And then we got to talk more importantly about God. I mean, God is incredible, and I love the fact that I get to sit and talk about God anytime I want when I get up here. I am a plumber regardless of what people say. No, I'm not licensed in the state of Ohio. That's the only thing they had right. All the smear campaigns they ran against me, I was not licensed. And I don't apologize for it. I was doing what I had to do to take care of my family. I'm licensed everywhere else, licensed United States Air Force, the whole 9 yards, but they just want to paint anybody that gets in their way, anybody that stands up with a little bit of integrity and backbone, they want to demonify them. And they want to tell you how bad that person is. And one, so that you guys don't hear the truth, and two, it'll make themselves feel better. You know that whole deal. They'll tear people down and make themselves feel better. Well, we got to kind of stop that stuff. That whole gossip syndrome that we have going on in Washington, it's like turning on Days of Our Lives anymore. That's how bad the gossip is in Washington, D.C. And, God can't abide gossip. I mean, he even talked about it specifically in the Bible. That gossip gets us in a lot of trouble, and that's one of the problems that we have here. Now, the last thing I usually talk about is political correctness, which I call political castration. You got to stop being afraid to speak your minds. You got to stop being afraid to speak your minds. Just like Dan stood up here and said he doesn't believe in abortion, neither do I. I own 5 guns, that ain't near enough. I drove a big old black Dodge 4x4 pickup truck, and I left a green cloud of gas and everything else, my carbon footprint from Ohio all the way to Wisconsin and back here. I'm tired of the government shoving green down my throat.